So the format of the North American Collegiate Championship, it was actually a series of qualifiers, and we worked with a bunch of community partners that were unbelievable. They really stepped up and made it their own, and it was truly remarkable to watch them not only work within their organizations, but also collaborate with each other. So Ivy League of Legends, or Ivy LOL, had their fall season, and we took 4 teams that were the top teams from their season, and we put them into the top 16. So that's 4 pre-seeded Ivy LOL teams. Collegiate Star League actually ran a qualifying tournament in January, and they were able to pull in the top 4 teams from their regions, from their Premier League. So that's second 4 teams, so now we're up to 8. Now here's the cool part. Ivy LOL teamed up with wellplayed.org and actually ran a 540 team open qualifier. So anybody that was full-time at a university could grab 4 of their friends and compete single elimination, best of 3 over the course of 2 weekends. And the final 8 slots in the North American Collegiate Championship qualifier were filled by open qualifiers. So this was a true community effort. And as I mentioned, the top 16 are going to be broadcasted by the North American Challenger League. So I have to give a shout out to Collegiate Star League, Ivy LOL, wellplay.org, and the North American Challenger League for really making this event happen. The schools are definitely supporting these communities. There are still some schools that aren't quite sure what to make of them, but the way that I encourage these organizers to talk about these communities is that it is a way, it's a social group. It's a way for people with similar interests to get together and hang out and have fun. And so when you have that freshman who's not quite sure what they want to do, but they like video games, having these general gaming communities, League of Legends, if League of Legends is a part of it, awesome, but just having these gaming communities where people can go and feel like they belong is incredibly safe and healthy for these environments. So I think a lot of the schools are seeing that. The big thing in terms of funding is schools are definitely funding because the organizers are getting a little bit better at explaining, hey, this is what we want to do. This is why it is worth some of this, student government budget or some of the additional travel budget or whatever they're looking for. A really cool story that I wanted to share is at University of Cincinnati. They are the first school to ever have League of Legends recognized as an official club sport. So there are typically 3 different levels of sport at college. You have the intramural levels where it's everybody at the same school are competing. It's for fun. It's, you win a t-shirt if you win. Then there's club sports, which are, for example, sports like rugby or ultimate frisbee are typically club sports where they're not official varsity sports, but they're still representing their school. They'll go and compete against other schools. They'll raise money to travel and all that stuff. And then you have the varsity sports. So, soccer, football, that's where the athletic scholarships come into play and all that stuff. So having University of Cincinnati have their school recognize League of Legends as a club sport is a huge step forward, and I would not be surprised if other schools started following suit. An interesting distinction that I wanted to make is that I actually primarily work with the community organizers at these schools, so as well as some of these larger community organizers, so the people at Ivy LOL, the people at Collegiate Star League that are building these national programs to help bring in as many teams as possible and have them competing against each other. So I've been able to see these communities grow around these teams, and while before they were definitely a little bit disjointed, where you had your team and then you had your community, they've definitely started to come together where these communities become the 6th man, right, and they help drive these teams forward. 2 examples that I'll give are UC Irvine and Texas A&M. Both of them have incredibly large communities, and you look in Twitch chat whenever they're playing, and for UCI it's like zot, zot, zot. They're just spamming all the way down chat. And for Texas A&M, they're like gigamaggies. And for these guys to be able to have that kind of support is just going to allow them to play at an even higher level and know that, hey, we're not just playing for ourselves, we're representing our school. And that's a really powerful thing. The Final Four is going to be the 22nd and the 23rd, and that is going to be actually part of the LCS broadcast. It's going to be in the place of the Challenger Series, and that's going to be 2 semifinals on the 22nd, immediately following the broadcast, and on the 23rd, we're going to have the grand final, best of 3 for all the marbles. It's going to be pretty incredible. I'm really excited.